I usually go into a movie knowing very little about it. That's just how I like to do it. But with this one I knew almost nothing. I knew the title and I'd seen the poster. I had not the faintest idea what the story was even gonna be about. Or really well anything. I didn't recognize the main actress and I'd never heard of the filmmaker. Which isn't exactly surprising considering this is her first full-length movie. But my point is that I was going into this blind, and that's a very good thing with this one. I feel like the less expectations you bring with you, the more open you can be to whatever the movie presents you with. And this one definitely brings with it some rather strange and out there ideas. But the general gist of the movie is that we follow a nurse who's in private practice. And as the movie begins, she's just taken on a new client that she's gonna be living with. And in essence, the movie is about this young woman's, religious convictions, I guess you could say. And those convictions very much shape her experience and how she sees the world. That's basically how much I'm willing to actually give away about the story here. Because at the end of the day, it is a pretty simple movie and there's not that much to it. It does get into her backstory and whatnot a little bit too, to give things some more depth, some context. But at its core it's pretty basic and I could probably sum up the entire thing in one sentence. Which I won't, and that also doesn't mean it's not an enjoyable movie. Or that it felt like it lacked something or needed to be more complex than it was. But it just means that most likely it's not gonna surprise you with all these intricate plot points or anything like that. But it's also a movie that knows exactly what it is and plays to its strengths. Which is probably why it's a pretty tight hour and 20 minutes in runtime too. So it never felt like it dragged and overall the pacing felt pretty much spot on. Even though not much actually happens and it has quite a few of these, more quiet and brooding moments that last for minutes on end. But a lot of that just helps build the atmosphere of the movie, to be honest. I also really liked the way the movie didn't really spoon feed you much of anything at all. And the information you get about what is actually going on is more of a slow drip. So slow in fact that by the end you don't even really get any conclusive answers. Or well, you sorta do. The last few seconds do kinda clear things up actually. Makes everything else that's been going on earlier make more sense too. There's just not a whole lot of ambiguity left once the credits roll, to be honest. Although I would say there's still room for alternative interpretations. But anyway, I really liked the ending. It was very, very well handled. And you know what? I liked most things about this movie as a whole too. The story was strong enough to hold everything together, the atmosphere was excellent, and in general the filmmaking here was very solid all around, no real complaints from me. But one of the main reasons the movie worked as well as it did was probably the main character. But not only the character, but also the performance by Morfydd Clark as well. She is just pretty much perfect in this and I couldn't see anyone doing a better job. And yeah, I didn't really have any major issues with this one. I thought it was really quite good. With some genuine moments of greatness thrown into the mix occasionally too. Like that tunnel shot toward the end, that was just pure brilliance, as was the actual ending. But still, as a whole, I don't know, I didn't quite love it, and I'm not sure why. But it is a very well made movie, and I enjoyed it, so I'm gonna give it a high 7. However, does that mean I would recommend it? Yeah, especially if you like brooding atmospheric horror, go for it. And if you don't, you might want to skip it, or do whatever you like. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic.